இவ்வளோ நாளா நான் நேஷனல்ல இருந்து இந்த ஒரு ஃபேக்டரி டூருக்கு நான் வந்ததே இல்லை. என்ன அப்படின்னு நம்ம கூடிய சீக்கிரத்துல பார்க்கலாம். டிரைவ்ல போயிட்டு இருக்கோம்.
ஸ்மோக்கிங் காசஸ் கேன்சர். ஸ்மோக்கிங் கில்ஸ். புகைப்பிடிப்பது புற்றுநோயை உண்டாக்கும், உயிரை கொல்லும். லிக்கர் ட்ரிங்கிங் இஸ் இன்ஜூரியஸ் டு ஹெல்த். மது அருந்துதல் உடல் நலத்திற்கு தீங்கு விளைவிக்கும்.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Life with Archu. Today, I'm taking you along one of the most iconic factory tours in the United States, that is Jack Daniel's Distillery in Lynchburg, Tennessee. We started our journey from Nashville, and after a peaceful 1.5 hour drive through beautiful countryside and greenery, we reached the charming town of Lynchburg. After parking, we took the complimentary shuttle to the visitor center where we met our friendly tour guide. She stayed with us throughout the tour, explaining each stage of whiskey making process and sharing fascinating stories about Jack Daniel's history. This tour is not just a whiskey factory tour, but more than a journey through over 150 years of history, craftsmanship, engineering, and tradition. Let's go inside. Before the tour began, we explored the visitor center. The highlight was the impressive Jack Daniel's statue surrounded by historic photographs, vintage artifacts, and displays explaining how a small Tennessee distillery became one of the world's most recognized whiskey brands. Our interesting fact is that many people think Jack Daniel's is located in Nashville, but it's actually located in Lynchburg, Tennessee, where it has operated since 1866, making the oldest registered distillery in United States. Okay, let's see about Jack Daniel. Who was Jack Daniel? His real name was Jasper Newton Daniel. He learned whiskey making at a very young age and officially established the distillery in 1866. His famous philosophy was, every day we make it the best we can. More than 150 years later, that commitment to quality continues. Another interesting thing we saw in the visitor center was how Jack Daniel's whiskey was made. The whiskey begins with 4 simple ingredients: corn, rye, malted barley, cave spring, hollow water. The grains are cooked with spring water, fermented using Jack Daniel's proprietary yeast, and distilled in large copper stills to produce a clear spirit. But here what makes Jack Daniel's different from many other whiskies. If it goes through the barrels and slowly filters through nearly 10 feet of sugar maple charcoal, that's the interesting fact about Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey. If the whiskey does not go through this process, it's a bourbon whiskey. This extra step removes harsh flavors while creating the smooth taste that Jack Daniel's is famous for. The whiskey is then aged for years in new, charred American white oak barrels, which naturally give its amber color and flavors like vanilla, caramel, toasted oak, and light smokiness. Another fascinating fact is that Jack Daniel's make its own barrels, and each one of it is used only once before being sold for aging other spirits around the world. One of the most interesting questions during the tour was, why did Jack Daniel choose Lynchburg? The answer was Cave Spring Hollow. This natural limestone spring provides crystal clear, iron-free water at a constant temperature throughout the year. Jack Daniel believed this water produced smoother whiskey, and even today, every drop of Jack Daniel's begins with the same spring water. After visiting Cave Spring Hollow, stop by Jack Daniel's office and learn more about the man behind the brand. Our guide also shared the famous story of his death. One morning, Jack Daniel couldn't remember the combination. Out of frustration, he kicked the heavy iron safe with his left foot, injuring his toe. The injury later became infected, and according to the story shared during the tour, those complications eventually contributed to his death. During the tour, we also tried a refreshing Jack and Coke slush. It was cold, icy, and perfect after walking around the distillery. Some production areas didn't allow photography or video recording to protect the manufacturing process and ensure visitor safety. So if you notice a few missing parts in this vlog, that's why it is. The tour ended with a guided whiskey tasting. We sampled several Jack Daniel varieties and learned how aging, charcoal mellowing, proof, and barrel selection influence the aroma, flavor, sweetness, spice, and finish of each whiskey. It was definitely one of the highlights of the experience, I would say. My experience, honestly, I enjoyed this tour much more than I expected. It wasn't just about whiskey, it was about the history, innovation, engineering, and one of the world's most iconic brands. From the scenic drive from Nashville to Lynchburg, exploring the visitor center, learning Jack Daniel's inspiring story, visiting Cave Spring Hollow, and his home, understanding the unique production process, enjoying the refreshing Jack and Coke slush, and ending the day with a guided whiskey tasting, every part of the experience was really memorable. If this factory tour looks something you would love to experience, I've added the official Jack Daniels Distillery tour booking link in the description below. You can book your tickets there and experience this incredible journey for yourself. Even if you don't drink whiskey, I still recommend this tour because you leave with a whole new appreciation for the history behind Jack Daniel. I hope you enjoyed joining me on this amazing factory tour. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Life with Archu. And let me know in the comments, would you visit the Jack Daniels Distillery if you come to Tennessee? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in another video. Until then, signing off as Unga Veetu Ponnu. Thank you all. Bye.